Okay, let's unpack this. Sometimes the most common objects we use every single day, they hide surprising depths.
Hmm.
You think you know them, but then you look closer and there's this whole world of nuance.
Definitely.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into something most of us tea drinkers probably, well, barely think about. The tea kettle.
Right? Seems simple.
Exactly. Just boils water. Right.
Yeah.
But what if understanding it better could actually genuinely elevate your whole tea experience?
Oh, it absolutely can. You're spot on. It is so much more than just a pot for boiling water.
Really? How so?
Well, the kettle is foundational because water temperature is honestly incredibly crucial.
Oh,
It directly impacts the flavor, the aroma, everything, the whole quality of your tea.
right, right. I've heard that about different teas needing different temps.
Precisely. Think about it. Different compounds in the leaves, they extract best at specific temperatures. Too hot for a delicate green, you get bitterness.
Ugh, yeah, been there.
Too cool for a robust black tea, you just won't get that full flavor, that richness. So, yeah, temperature really is key for a great cup.
That makes total sense. And honestly, it's probably something I've overlooked for, well, years.
A lot of people do.
So, okay, our mission for this deep dive then is to pull out the key insights from a comprehensive guide on tea kettles. Basically, give you a shortcut.
Yeah, save you the reading.
Exactly. So you can be well informed without digging through it all yourself. We're going to look at the different types, the materials, key features, and crucially, how to pick the perfect one for you and how to look after it.
Sounds good.
So let's start right there. Why does a good kettle matter? Maybe more than we think. We touched on temperature, but how does the kettle itself play into that?
Well, beyond just hitting that ideal temperature, which is paramount, like you said, the kettle's design helps you achieve it efficiently and
Okay.
maintain it or pour it correctly. It affects the whole process, not just the end result. It's about the ritual, too.
I get that. There really is something satisfying about using a tool that just works well,
Yep, it flows better.
makes the whole process feel less like a chore, more like, I don't know, a craft or something.
It really does. And when we start unpacking the different types of kettles, you'll see the choices out there. Each one fits a slightly different need or style.
Okay, let's dive into those types then. For many people, the first image is probably that classic stovetop kettle, right?
The traditional workhorse, yeah, sits on the burner, timeless design.
Comes in stainless steel, copper, enamel, those sorts of things.
Right. And a popular subset is the whistling kettle.
Ah, yes, the whistler. Great if you're doing other things in the kitchen. That sound is unmistakable.
Definitely an alarm. But what's interesting, that whistle wasn't just for convenience, it was actually an early safety feature, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in busy kitchens, it stopped kettles boiling dry and, potentially causing fires or damage. Practical design.
Huh. Never thought of that. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's stovetop. Then there are electric kettles.
Right, and electrics really change things for speed and control. Your standard electric kettle just plugs in, heats water fast, usually has basic safety like auto shut-off, boil-dry protection.
Pretty standard stuff.
But where it gets really interesting, especially if you're serious about tea, is the variable temperature models.
Ah, okay, now we're talking. I've seen those. How much difference does that precise control really make if you drink, say, different kinds of tea?
Oh, it's a game changer, honestly. These let you set the exact temperature you need.
So no guessing.
No guessing, no waiting for boiling water to cool down. Perfect for those different teas. Remember that delicate green tea?
Yeah, the one boiling water ruins.
Exactly. With variable temp, you set it to, say, 175 Fahrenheit for that green, or maybe 205 for your black tea. Precision.
That sounds incredibly useful.
And then for the tech lovers, you've even got smart kettles now.
Smart kettles, what do they do?
You control them with your phone, set the temperature, start boiling remotely, that kind of thing.
Wow. We've gone from a simple whistle to controlling it from the couch. That's quite something.
It is. But, okay, beyond the type and the tech, a really fundamental thing is the material the kettle's made from. That affects a lot.
Right, the actual construction. Let's get into that. Stainless steel seems super common. Good reason for that.
Absolutely. Pros are it's really durable, resists rust, easy to clean, holds heat well,
Cons?
can be a bit heavier, sometimes more expensive than other options.
Okay. What about glass kettles? They look cool.
They do. You can see the water heating up, which is kind of nice. And importantly, glass doesn't add any flavor.
It's a plus.
Big plus.
Yeah.
Downside is obvious, though. They're fragile. You drop it, it's probably done for.
Yeah, definitely a concern for someone like me. Okay, copper. Those often look stunning.
Gorgeous, right? Copper heats up really quickly and evenly, too. But
There's always a but.
they need regular polishing to keep that shine. They can be pretty pricey. And traditionally, they needed a lining, like tin or stainless steel,
What's that?
to stop copper leaching into the water, especially if your water is acidic. Modern ones are usually lined properly now, but it's worth knowing.
Good point. And ceramic or porcelain? More about style there.
Often, yeah. Lots of stylish designs. They hold heat well, don't impart flavors like glass,
Downsides.
can be heavy, and they're prone to chipping or cracking if you knock them.
Right. Last one, cast iron. Like those Japanese teapots.
Tetsubin, yeah. They're amazing for heat retention. Super durable, beautiful traditional look.
Ah,
Heavy. Very heavy. And they need seasoning, like a cast iron pan, to stop them rusting. Can be expensive, too. They're kind of a commitment.
okay, wow. Lots of options there. So if you're actually choosing one, what are the key features to look for? What separates the good from the great?
Well, we already hammered this, but temperature control for electric kettles. If you drink different teas, especially delicate ones, it's pretty much essential.
Non-negotiable for serious tea people. Got it. What else?
Speed of boiling. Electric kettles generally win here by a long shot compared to stovetop.
Makes sense.
Capacity is another thing. They usually range from maybe 1 to 2 liters. Think about how much tea you usually make at once. Are you making a single cup or filling a big pot?
Good point. And spout design. I know that matters for pouring.
Hugely important. A well-designed spout, maybe a gooseneck type, gives you a smooth, controlled pour.
Less splashing.
Exactly. No spills, and you get even saturation if you're pouring over leaves directly. Crucial for pour-over coffee, too, actually.
Safety features too, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. Auto shutoff is standard on most electrics now. Boil-dry protection is vital, stops the kettle heating when empty. And look for heat-resistant handles. Basic safety.
And then there's the one we all forget until it's annoying, cleaning.
Yes. Ease of cleaning makes a huge difference day to day.
What should you look for?
Maybe removable washable filters, especially for limescale, a nice wide opening so you can get your hand inside, maybe a non-stick interior, anything that makes scrubbing easier.
Nobody enjoys tackling limescale buildup. Okay, so knowing all that, how does someone choose the right kettle for them? It's clearly not just about picking the nicest looking one.
Right, this is where you tailor it. First, assess your own habits. How often do you make tea?
Yeah, daily, weekly.
What kinds of tea do you mostly drink? If you love variety greens, whites, blacks, oolongs, that variable temp electric kettle looks really appealing.
But if you only drink, say, English breakfast.
Then maybe a simpler electric kettle or even a good stovetop one is perfectly fine. You don't need all the bells and whistles.
Makes sense. What else?
Think about your kitchen space. Electric kettles need counter space. Stovetop kettles need, well, stove space.
Obvious, but easily overlooked.
Budget, of course. Kettles range from pretty cheap to surprisingly expensive. Decide what features are worth paying for you.
And finally, yeah, the aesthetics do matter.
Of course, you'll see it every day. Choose one that fits your kitchen style, whether that's sleek, modern, rustic, whatever.
Okay, so you've chosen your perfect kettle. Now, keeping it working well, maintenance tips. We want this investment to last.
Definitely. Regular cleaning is number one, especially preventing limescale buildup if you have hard water.
That chalky stuff.
Yeah, it looks bad, can slow down heating, and some say it even affects the water taste slightly.
How do you get rid of it?
A simple mix of water and white vinegar or lemon juice. Boil it up, let it sit, rinse well, works wonders.
Good tip. Anything else?
Avoid overfilling. There's usually a max line for a reason. Prevents spills when boiling, and it boils more efficiently.
Handle it carefully too, I guess.
Right. Use oven mitts if the handle gets hot. Pour slowly and carefully. Basic stuff, but important.
And storing it.
Keep it in a dry place when not in use. Especially important for materials prone to rust, like cast iron if it's not seasoned properly. Just common sense care extends its life.
Okay, let's maybe give people some inspiration, spotlight a few specific kettle examples, just to illustrate what we've been talking about.
Sure. For instance, the Fellow Stag EKG electric pour-over kettle. You see this one a lot in specialty coffee shops and with tea enthusiasts.
Why that?
Precision temperature control, that elegant gooseneck spout for pour-overs, and just, well, style. It looks great.
Okay, what's another one?
Maybe the Cuisinart Perfect Temp electric kettle. the CPK-17 model. It's really versatile. Has 6 preset temperature buttons.
So easy settings for different teas.
Exactly. Super handy if you don't want to dial in an exact degree but want the main presets covered.
How about a classic look?
The Le Creuset enamel-on steel whistling tea kettle. Classic stovetop design, that whistle, but modern build quality and loads of color options.
The colorful ones. Yeah.
And for stovetop pour-over, maybe the Willow and Everett gooseneck kettle. Stainless steel, precise spout, good value.
No more.
The Hario V60 Buono pour-over kettle. Another favorite, especially in the coffee world, but great for tea too. Known for its pour control and sleek look.
Okay, great examples. So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here?
I think it's that a good tea kettle isn't just, an afterthought accessory. It's actually a worthwhile investment.
Right. It fundamentally impacts the quality of your tea.
It really does. It helps ensure each cup is brewed the way it's meant to be brewed. It turns a simple daily thing into something a bit more special, more intentional.
And hopefully these insights help you apply this to your own tea ritual, moving beyond just boil water to actually crafting a better cup.
Exactly. Using the right tool for the job, even for something as seemingly simple as heating water, can just make a surprising difference.
Precisely. So maybe this leaves us with a final thought for you to mull over. What other seemingly mundane objects in your daily life might hold surprising depths? Hidden features, maybe? Just waiting for you to unlock their full potential.
Something to think about.
Definitely something to mull on until our next deep dive.